Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our backyard. Today's video is just some garden observations. Pretty simple, but something I wanted to share. This is about 8:30 in the morning, and this is a lot later than I typically like to video because the lighting is a little bit more harsh, as you can see. My name is Crystal, and I garden south of Houston, Texas, along the Texas Gulf Coast in Zone 9B. And as you look at the play of the sun, I love how it looks against the fence. When you take a look at how it plays on the hanging baskets, it kind of gives them a glowing effect. I'm sitting on my work stool here on the patio, and I love looking, even though it's really humid at 8:30 in the morning and it's hot. I love taking a look at this vantage point. You can hear the birds. They come in and feed at the bird feeders. I've already had a squabble this morning between a woodpecker and a blue jay. I've got a butterfly floating around over here. Not a lot though. I've had a few butterflies. All the different kinds of butterflies I've seen have been a giant swallowtail, the tiger swallowtail, the pipevine swallowtail, and the eastern black swallowtail. So I've seen all four. And they've been laying eggs in the yard, except for the tiger swallowtail. I don't think I really have a host plant for them. And I just think they're such beautiful butterflies. But the monarchs have been active, the sulfurs, little hair streaks. I got a ton of hair streaks in my garden. All right, so now that you see my vantage point and how I just love to come out here and sit and look, my husband and I will talk about things that are going on for the day or in the garden. We both like to come out and take a look pretty early to take a look at our host plants to see what's going on. All right, now I'm going to get up and I'm going to show a few things in the garden. The birds, these are house finches, finally got brave enough to come in closer and eat. A little chickadee up here. Sometimes the birds complain when I'm too close. There's a male house finch. They have red. We like to call them the redheads. So with inviting birds into the yard to help with pest control, and I also really enjoy watching the birds in the yard, we have got squirrel issues. And so you'll notice that I have a double squirrel baffle on my poles. And that's to keep the squirrels off from the bird feeders. They become real pests. Not only are squirrels pests, but they also can do an incredible amount of damage to trees and wood on your homes. We've had to repair thousands of dollars worth of damage that squirrels have done on our home through the years, which does not make me a fan of squirrels in the yard. And so I deter them as much as I can. Okay, I am going to go over this way because I've got a couple of anoles. So I've got a pole here, and anoles love to play king of the mountain on that pole, which is really funny, and it happens every day. And I've got a green anole at the top and a brown anole, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see these guys. They were flaring their throats. But for some reason, this pole is just fantastic for anoles because they love to play king of the pole every day. I'm here on the other side. I've got so many little anoles in the yard also. You know, even if you live in a suburb like we do, and you're in suburbia, if you create butterfly or wildlife spaces, you can come out in them and it's like a respite. Even though you've got homes around you and noises and sounds, you still will invite nature into your yard. And when you're deliberate about it, it's amazing all the natural and native things that come into your yard. Whether it's native bees, we've got quite a few dragonflies now. They're wonderful to have in the yard because they eat mosquitoes and mosquito larvae. Got a couple of birds fighting over bark butter. Let's see if I can get closer. Unless that's I don't think it's a juvenile. Huh. He's frantically eating the bark butter that we put on the tree every morning. I've got a Gulf fritillary here. She's floating around. She's been laying eggs this morning. And I've got the host plants here. So this is all passion vine. So she's been busy laying eggs. The cooing sound you hear is a dove. You can hear birds calling. It's really peaceful. There's a nice dragonfly right there. Oh, took off. One of the things I shared with you was how my Mexican flame vine that I planted in the ground from a broken, just a very small broken tip. Oh boy, got a wonderful swallowtail here. Anyway, I planted from a broken end and rooted it and planted it in the ground, and it's been growing really heartily along the fence back here. I'm going to put a video up top on the Mexican flame vine that I had a couple of years ago that I planted in a container, and it was beautiful. You can see its flowers. This one is not putting a lot of effort into flowering. It's really putting its effort into climbing and growing. Look at that. So I am experimenting with it, seeing what it's going to do. It came back from our freeze, whereas the ones in my containers did not. And I'm just kind of letting it run in the wild here. It is in the backdrop along the fence, and you can see I have some couple of trellises back here for it to climb on and some bamboo stakes. Whereas my firebush are in front of it, and my firebush also do not survive freezes above ground. Their roots do, and they will come back from the ground. And you can see, here's my large leaf firebush starting to flower. There's my small leaf starting to flower. And the difference between the two is the smaller leaf has smaller berries, it has smaller bloom clusters, but it flowers profusely, where the larger one doesn't have as many bloom sections. Both are very pretty. Interesting, I like having them together back here. And once the firebush start blooming, the pollinators are all over, and they will bloom right up until frost. This bush is such a tried and true plant to have in the pollinator garden, and especially in heat and humidity. I had to come back to the anole, the green anole at the top of the pole. Butterflies have to be careful. Anoles will jump pretty far distances to get them. They eat adult butterflies. Of course, they eat the eggs and everything also. I've watched a green anole jump to get a painted lady butterfly. It's like, no, you can't eat that. He snarfed it up. When you plan your garden, do you try to plan for the different seasons? I do. Sometimes I think I'm more successful than others, thinking about what does well in the spring, summer, fall, and then early winter. And then I try to come out at different times of the day just to enjoy. Sometimes flowers open up during the daytime, some in the mornings, some all day long. But if I don't, then I miss some of the displays that look so good. The cicadas have been coming out for a little bit now. You see their carcasses around Isn't that loud? Oof. They can certainly get going and be really, really loud. If you're interested in inviting birds into your garden, there's an app called Merlin, Merlin, and you can use it to identify bird sounds. You can take a picture and it helps identify birds by what they look like. It's really good app. It's free. And I used it especially when I was first starting, trying to identify birds in the yard. It helps being in the shade over here in the heat. Sometimes I like to come from a vantage point to where I just watch the birds like this. I'll watch them from in the house too. But they're in the yard all day long, eating and going through the garden beds and the containers and the bird baths. Lately, they've been teaching their young how to take baths, how and where to find food. It's always fun in the springtime because birds are teaching their young the ropes out in nature. I have another plant that I want to share with you, and this is what I have in a container, and it's called a blue butterfly clerodendron. And it is an absolute monster. I've never seen it have leaves this large. And the reason I say it's a monster because it died to the ground, to the soil level in our freeze. And look at it. And it's just starting to get a bloom. This is crazy to me. It never looked like this last year and the year before. Makes me wonder if I shouldn't cut it close to the ground every spring to have it come back with this kind of renewed growth and vigor. It's beautiful. So I have a mother, a female pipevine swallowtail. She looks like she's been around a while. She's laying eggs. So I'm a little bit away from her. I don't want to disturb her. She is busy laying eggs. I love it. That's what I missed seeing in the early spring because we didn't have any. And she's laying eggs on the pipevine ground cover. I can tell she's older because her wings are not vibrant colored anymore. They're faded. But she's doing her job. She's laying the eggs for the next generation of pipevine swallowtails. Well, thank you for joining me today on this quiet morning. Just wanted to share with you a lot of times what I like to observe and just listen and Just enjoy nature. It's calming. It's just fun to have a pollinator garden. So I thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you again soon.